I kind of want to backtrack a little bit to the weeks that I was gone because the topics that I'm gonna talk to y'all about, I was actually going to talk about around the time that I had ended up getting sick. I was finna record, but I had got sick and I couldn't talk. So I really kind of want to backtrack. We're gonna backtrack probably like a week. So I just want y'all to hear my opinions on these topics. So first off, I want to start off with Michael Oher and him claiming that his family that had adopted him didn't end up adopting him. For those of y'all that do not know, Michael Oher is the former football player for the Ravens who had a blockbuster film, The Blind Side. He's stating that his parents never actually adopted him, but instead tricked him into signing away his legal rights for conservatorship under the guise that he would be a part of the family. Instead, he wasn't a part of the family, and he claims that they not only took money from millions of dollars from a movie that grossed over $300 million in the box office, but they took his name, his likeness from all of that, and basically took all of the money, took all of the cut. So the Tuohys, from the allegations, they were saying that they're hurt from basically everything that he was saying, and this doesn't describe the love that they will always have for him. And the Tuohy's attorneys was saying that in reality, the Tuohy's opened their home to Mr. Orr, offered him structure, support, and most of all, unconditional love. The movie paid the Tuohy's each 225 plus 2.5% of royalty from the movie. The evidence, documents, and the checks are clear that the Tuohy has given Michael Orr the money. That's what it said at first. With more and more news coming along with that, now they are fully open to getting rid of the conservatorship and all of that. But they were trying to say that they didn't take the money from him and all of that. So now they're trying to hurry up and give away that conservatorship just like that. So it's like that's interesting. And in his movie, and I'm gonna say this right now because I'm gonna bring it up later down the line in this podcast episode. Just because he says one thing in there, like if something happens, right? Don't let that just misconstrue everything that happened before that. Here's what I'm saying with this. So Michael Orr had him basically a little documentary book called I Beat the Odds from Homelessness to the Blind Side and Beyond. And he basically said that he knew about the conservatorship, but they explained it to basically say it was a different form of an adoption. It was just worded different, but he didn't really care because of the simple fact he already knew what it was, or he felt like he knew what it was. He felt like that even with this being a conservatorship, it's not called adoption. I mean, he was still going to be a part of the family. But that's not actually what happened. So with Michael Orr, this is how I feel about it. I want to talk about the movie. For those of y'all that have not watched the movie, I don't like how they portrayed him. And he doesn't like how they portrayed him in the movie. How they portrayed him in the movie was that he was this dumb kid who was struggling in school. And if it wasn't the Tuohy's coming in, he would not have got the scholarships and all that. Mind you, Michael Orr was already an athlete. He played football. He played basketball. He played all of these sports, and he was already getting the recruits. So they made it feel as though in the movie that he was getting recruited when that's not what happened in the movie. Like, it's not supposed to feel as though he felt recruited in the movie, and that's how they basically portrayed him. If it wasn't for the Tuohy's, he would continue to have low grades. He would continue to just struggle, be dumb, and all of that. And he expressed that. He didn't like how the movie portrayed him as a person, basically. So with that in mind, it was just crazy to him. So back to what I was saying, him being a 18-year-old kid at the time and him being homeless and all of that, all he's found these two amazing people that will take him in as family. So obviously him being 18 years old And him not knowing because he's homeless, so he's not going to know everything. All he's just doing is just signing the legal rights away, but without him actually knowing what actually comes in the midst of it. What are the clause of all of it? His likeness and all of that is going to go away. In Tennessee, it's legal to adopt someone over the age of 18. It's legal to adopt someone. So it brings question, if all of this was supposed to happen, why did they just didn't adopt them regularly? You feel what I'm saying? If all of this was for, because back then in the NCAA, you couldn't make money. Now you can make money off of NIL deals. You can make money off of endorsements. Any kind of way you can make money. But back then you couldn't make money. Back in 2009 when the movie came out, you couldn't make money. So with that, why did they not just wait until he was out of college so that way he can tell the story of his life when he was in the NFL, and he could tell his story about him growing up, how they basically took him in and stuff like that. Like, it brings a lot of questioning to it. Brings a whole lot of questions. Like, why would you give him a conservatorship for him to sign? Obviously, I feel as though they took advantage of him. You got to see it from both ways, but me personally, in my opinion, I just felt as though that they took advantage of him because, I mean, he's young, he's homeless, he's not going to know everything, so he's just signing it thinking that, hey, like, he's going to be a part of the family, when in reality, he's not a part of the family. Literally not a part of the family. With Britney Spears, her father was signed the conservatorship and basically was taking over her life and stuff like that until she broke out of it. With him, I just feel as though he found out he was probably searching it up, and then he just figured out that, hey, he wasn't actually adopted. So it comes out that the payments, it wasn't millions. Michael Oher was stating that he got robbed out of millions out of his name and likeness. So the Tui family, as of right now, it says that they were collectively paid $767,000. Does that mean that they gave the money to Michael Oher? No. Even though it says that he wanted millions of dollars because that's what they got, he was trying to shake them down for $15 million. Him finding out that now it's only $667,000, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to get the money, but now they got to do some more detailing and they got to do some more investigating to see if they actually paid him the money. And obviously, since the movie is out, they could still keep on getting money from his likeness, his name, and all of that. 9 times out of 10, people are still going to watch it. When this news came out, people are going back and looking at the movie. When news comes out, they're going to go back and look at wherever the news stems from or all of that. So this number can still go up as we're speaking, as I'm recording this video. You feel what I'm saying? But it raises, like I said, a lot of questioning. Raises a lot of questions. Why just, if all of this was the case, why did they not just wait until he was out of college for the conservatorship or all of that? Like, the conservatorship doesn't even have to be a part of this. Why did they not just regularly adopt him? Like Michael Oher said, like, Sean and Leanne Tui gave the money that they had to the kids, the biological kids, not him. So it's like, it just raises a whole lot of questions. And like I said earlier, the way that they paint him in the movie of him just being this homeless, dumb kid, like, I just felt like that was bad. Like, it's kind of like they sugarcoated how Michael Oher really was and how the whole family tree really was. They're trying to paint it as the family is just this savior and they're just recruiting, but I don't know. Like, it's just really, really raises so many questions. And then on top of that, he goes to their alma mater, Ole Miss. So it's like, all of this, were they just trying to recruit Michael Oher? Who knows? Like, but it just raised so many questions. Even the lawyers were questioning why the conservatorship was even brought to, when, I mean, one is, like I said, it's illegal to basically adopt someone in Tennessee, like over 18. It's legal to do that. So, with that in mind, why is all of this happening, and why did they not just give him the money? Because they not only, think about it, they not only made money off of this, they made money off of the charity events for it, all of that. And this is how I know that Sean and Leanne Tui probably might lose the case. They were trying to say that Michael Orr was negotiating his NFL deals and stuff like that, but Michael Orr is trying to get money from the movie. So by them saying that he's getting all of these negotiations, he's negotiating for his NFL contracts, it has nothing to do with the actual case that they're trying to solve, which is how much money Sean and Leanne Tui got from the movie, and have they paid Michael Orr. So they're trying to steer the whole case in a whole nother direction and not be focused on why they're actually here. So it's like, with that in mind, and they're already trying to hurry up and get the conservatorship off and stuff of like that, stuff of that nature, should I say, it doesn't look good. It's a bad look for them. Now, I mean, who knows? Michael Lord probably would have got his money. Who knows? Maybe got his money, and maybe he's greedy trying to get some more money. Who knows? That could be one thing, but I really just don't see it happening. I personally don't see it happening. And like I said, just because he said that he knew about the conservatorship, he didn't actually know about the conservatorship. Especially, think about it. If you were just this homeless kid, like I said, if you're just this homeless kid and you get taken in, they're showing you love, they're showing you affection and want to welcome you to the family, like, you got to give them credit where credit is due. He didn't deny that they didn't do that. So with that in mind, we know that they're the type of people, okay, they will do something like that. So when they give him the paper for a conservatorship, or it signs away his legal rights and all of that, you're going to think, and they tell you that it's an adoption, you're going to think, okay, this is an adoption, I'm welcoming the family. Like, even though it's worded different, I mean, they're saying that I'm a part of the family, and that's just how I feel. So with that in mind, I mean, I'm a sign it, but I'm not really going to know, even with me being homeless, because you don't know. So I don't think he actually knew what he was signing until years later, when he finds out, okay, he can't get the money because his legal rights and his conservatorship is on them, so he can't really get the money. So I mean, I don't really blame him for what he did, especially if he didn't get no money from the movie. And the money in the movie is basically about his story, and it's inspiring other kids coming up that you can make it even though you're homeless. There's still a way to make it. Now, see, not everyone is going to be in the same position to where they get adopted by a whole family. But that's not the point. The point is, you can still make it no matter what you're going through, whether that's homelessness, a bad family environment, just bad environment in regards to where you stay, anywhere, period, you can still make it. That was the whole point of The Blind Side. They just portrayed it as, okay, he was this dumb kid, he couldn't do anything, and then they just came. And another thing, they tried to say that in the movie, this is how they portrayed him in the movie. They were teaching him how to play football, how to play lineman, telling him how to basically block and just do all of these plays, when come on, you can't teach no one how to do that, especially if they're in high school. They already know how to do that. So it's like the way that they portrayed him is like the family taught him how to do everything, and come to find out in the real world, he already knew how to do everything. He already knew how to play football. He was playing basketball. He was playing all of that. So with that in mind, it's like it was a bad perception, but that's just how the movie came out. So that way it inspired other kids that are going through the same position or something as Michael Lord, that is still a chance that you can be where you want to be. You feel what I'm saying? But like I said, so instead of it being a couple $1,000,000 like Michael Orr said it was, the records had came out and it was $67,000 in payments. Now they just have to figure out, has Michael Oher got any money from the payments from the blind side, and if he hasn't, they'll go accordingly to get whatever money he hasn't had, and any money that they get after that, they're going to get that, and they're going to give it to Michael Oher. I just feel like it's sad. Like, it makes you think, like, what was their whole intentions at the beginning when they first met Michael Oher? Like, did they just see, okay, like, they can recruit him or something like that? Because there would be no point in a conservatorship, especially if you know in Tennessee that it's legal to adopt someone. It just, something just doesn't make sense. Was this a whole recruiting thing and they could just take money and they, give millions of dollars? And another thing, I feel like this is the main idea too that comes with it. Greed is, no matter how much money there is, no matter how much money you get, you're still going to try and thrive to receive more money, to try and get more money. So people are going to be greedy. There's going to be some people that try and do anything that they possibly can, even though they have millions of dollars or a whole lot of money, to try and get more money. People are greedy. People will do whatever they can to try and make them some more money, whether that's good or bad. So you just got to watch out for those people. So even with Sean and Leanne Tui, they already had their own business. They had everything because they were basically millionaires before Michael Oher. That doesn't necessarily mean that they see Michael Oher, they can't get no more money out of him. They could get millions of more money. It's a greed thing. No matter how much money you have, people will still be greedy and try and get more money, because that's the goal, is to get more money. Just don't be greedy. People will do anything for money. Anything for money. So maybe it's a greed thing because there will be no cause for no conservatorship. Especially, like I said, if you know that it's legal to adopt someone in Tennessee at the age of 18. So this could be a greed thing. This could not. So it's just, I don't know. Who knows what might happen? Like I said, this is still active. They're trying to figure out if they paid Michael Oher all the money or some bits of the money from the movie. And if not, they'll just go accordingly. It's really sad. But we're going to move on.